What's the prediction for next month, Andy? Well, we've lost a month of autumn, or fall, wherever you live, and it was summer. It wasn't autumn. So I do actually predict that midway through April, we should get a bit cooler. Well, significantly cooler, because it's been ridiculous this month. And I think the rain will back off. And then I think the month after that, we're going to be trying to ration water. G'day, folks. Andy here from McDowell Manor. Believe it or not, on the 1st of April, and I wasn't going to post anything because I thought people would think it was an April Fool's joke, but on the 1st of April, the temperature dropped by 10 degrees. So we're currently having, I don't know, 25 to 27 degree days, which is absolutely beautiful. And I've just had 17 millimetres of rainwater. Go figure. That's our ruby grapefruit. I bought that tree, I don't know, probably 5 years ago for my Ozzie for Valentine's Day. The gift that keeps on giving. We're in the middle-ish of April. It's a beautiful 30 degrees outside. Hardly a cloud in the sky. And this is the time of year you really want to live in Australia, folks. It's absolutely magnificent. Nice and cool at night, so down to probably late teens, early 20s at night, and about 30 in the day. Isn't that dragon fruit going well? Absolutely beautiful. And as much as I whinge about the weather over here, this time of year in spring you wouldn't live anywhere else. Fair dinkum. Getting less sun, of course, this time of year, so you can see the south side of the yard doesn't get a lot of light now. So the aquaponics has all died back. I'm spending a bit of time managing the quails. You can see what they're meant to look like is these birds. So there's, they've got all their feathers, everything's good. But what happens if I don't manage the number of boys? I'll show you the difference. Poor ratty buggers. So the boys just get too vigorous mating. So I've taken 4 boys out for the freezer. I don't like doing it, and I always say if you enjoy killing birds, it's time to give up. But that'll let these recover. I've spaced them out a lot better now. Look at that poor one in the back corner, will you? Poor bugger. So they'll recover pretty good now, I'm confident, and the world will be a better place for everybody. I don't want to curse myself. But it's cooled down, and I reckon this month I'll actually get this set repainted. So I think I've said 6 months ago, oh, I got to get onto that job. Well, I reckon now's about the time. So probably sometime this month it'll get done, sanded back, resprayed, and that'll be good, eh? Rosie will be so happy. And believe it or not, I think I'm only going to give it away anyway. But I'd like to fix it up before I do. Maybe one of my kids would like it. Those grey pots we quite like in here. The white ones will eventually be painted the same colour as the darker rocks, so they just blend in. And they'll have Rosie's orchids in the top, or probably some silver, see those silver trailing plants? They'll probably go in the top, and in the middle space she'll tuck a couple of her lovely orchids. Then I'll put the spout back on that and we'll be done. It can just settle in and smooth down, and really is a lovely little spot. Liking a few different varieties of sweet potato there again. I've decided to make a that one's already struck. I've decided to make a sweet potato bed at the back. Did really well with pumpkins. This one's over 5 kilos. What a ripper, eh? The yard's flourishing. We've had a bit of rain, but not a lot. So enough to keep things nicely watered, and it's all going rather well. Distillery, I've got to bottle up. That one is beer. It's been settled, so I'll bottle that up today, and then it sits for another couple of weeks having a second ferment. And this one beside it that you can't really see much in, that's a spirit wash, so I'll probably do that maybe this afternoon or the next day. It's got to be run through the still. I've still got ample neat alcohol there, but I like to stay ahead. So after Christmas, I freeze all the ham bones. The plan today, probably today, this afternoon, will be make pea and ham soup from those bones, since it's cooled down at night now, thank goodness. So I was visiting some friends at Daybra the other weekend as part of Brisbane Local Food. Marianne and Cole, who were big into aquaponics. Cole's a bit like me, I think, except he's got skills that I don't have. So we both were prepared to say, oh, that's a good idea, I'll have a crack at that. So he had rather a large and very sophisticated, impressively so in fact, aquaponics system that he decided, I think a storm went through and it all went belly up. And it was a heck of a storm. So he's given me some of this pipe. And I'm thinking what I might do, since he pre-cut it all and it's even got ends on two, I might actually have a go, and I'll tell you where I'm thinking of using some of this stuff. Last month I moved the lime, the finger lime, the prickly bloody thing, from out of there. Well, that gives me access to a whole bunch of this fence, which happens to run behind the aquaponics. So what I'm thinking is if I set it up on 2 levels, I could put a pump, and I have a spare, remember, I fixed up the one that I thought was broken. So I'll use that spare pump to run water into a top level of the poly pipe from probably the far end, I think. I don't know yet, I'll have to think it through. You're seeing the original concept come to life, folks. 2 levels, maybe 3 on the back fence, and the water would run back into this tank. So it'd come out of that tank and run straight back into that tank. It'd be a constant flow. So the pipes would be on a slight angle, a bit like these little beds. I reckon it might damn well work. Give me a few more days to cogitate, because it's about where I can reach. Now, unfortunately there's a bloody pump in the way here at the moment, but it's got to be down about there easily. So if I clear off a bit of that vine, mind you, if I clear off a lot of that vine, I could just do it where I can easily get to it. So, right there. Oh, it's getting better as I go, isn't it? Oh, there's a plan in the making. That's my dog's barking. The other thing that happens this month as it cools down is the fish only get fed once a day. By the end of this month, provided it's got colder, I'll stop feeding them completely. That's where the rats have tried to chew their way into the container with the chicken food. So at the moment what we'll do is put that there. And I've had a rat service come over, hence the disarray. I'll put that back together again shortly. Now our local council have little ratting dogs that will come over and try and check to make sure there's no rats. And as it turns out, I had them today and I videotaped a little bit of it. So I'll share some of that footage. I was trying to be a bit discreet and not get the workers themselves on. So I'll put that on now. Rat dogs. Oh, they're active little chaps. Oh, you can probably smell the chooks. Don't eat the chook poo, dog. Well, that got the chooks going.
Oh. Come on, leave me alone.
Oh, if you can get one to have a look under that fish market sign.
Yeah.
The other side of that shelf where you got attacked by a snake.
I'm in here with a big black one. Holly. Holly. Oh, come on. Oh. Leave him alone. Move some some of these.
Yeah, go for it. The big time waster this month has been the bloody oven broke. So we went to we got a new one and went to put it in, but of course it's far too small for the surrounds. So you can see what Uncle Marky has pretty much done is pack that out, Uncle Marky from Eaton's Hill. So that's the wooden surrounds. We've put a bracket on there, it's about 16 mil. If it's too narrow, I can just zip that off with a grinder. If it's not far enough out, I can just pack that out easily by removing 2 Phillips head screws, which should be a pretty straightforward and easy fit now. Oh, what a debacle. Honestly, it's taken nearly a whole week to try and get organised and work out what to do, and oh geez. Now, it's not a big deal because we've got that air fryer over there that is pretty much a little mini oven, so we have survived, the 3 of us, on that. But geez, I'm getting bloody sick of it. I just want the friggin' thing in. And the new one has been here for a couple of days now. That'll be it sitting in the front entryway because it's as heavy as it'll get out, of course, as ovens what I want to be. So we just got to get the mongrel guts in. The other thing I've really started to notice, I think it's the 24th today, is we're down to 1 egg a day. So it suddenly got much colder. We're down to 1 egg instead of 4 with the girls. That's Big Buffy. I reorganised the quail house and spread the numbers out a lot better. Wow, I went from 8 eggs a day to 1. Can you believe it? All of a sudden, like, I just can't get over the degree of change. Pineapple guava or feijoa. Now, I got 1 fruit this year. Picked it up, I think yesterday. It fell off the tree onto the ground, which means it's ripe and ready to eat. But yeah, normally I get a heck of a lot more fruit than 1, so certainly a strange year for some reason. No, I still haven't done that bloody table. I'll get there. That green fence there, that's a native finger lime. Terrible bloody spiky thing, so that's actually a really good place for it, well and truly out of the way. I got 4 limes off it. Sometimes we call them caviar limes because they come out like little bits of caviar. So that'll be very exciting. That's the first time I've really got ample, well, 4 is not many, it's like 30 grams or something, so there's not a lot in it, but that'll be very interesting to try. The dragon fruit certainly loves it there. It's in the last 6 months, it's more than quadrupled in size. Very happy there. Completely out of season. There's a couple of flowers on the peach. It must have heard Ozzie saying she wants me to put the chainsaw on it. Trying desperately to save itself. I don't like your chances, buddy. And we continue to go pretty well with the citrus. The ruby grapefruits are starting to really come in now, which is great. The odd little lime on there. There's lemonades on over there, lemons there. I've been led to believe there's even a fig or 2. Now, oh yeah, there is, look at that. There's a fig, folks. This is a fig tree that never figs. It couldn't give a fig. Yeah, I'm threatening it too. If I lose my peach tree, Rosie may well lose her fig because fair dinkum, you don't get a lot of fruit from it. And she's a real dreary, sort of windy day today. So, not quite winter yet, but I'm starting to feel it, and I've actually got a thin but long sleeve shirt on today. My finger beside the feijoa there, just to give you an idea. They're not very big. I've got small hands. They're not very big. And that's the funny little native finger limes. They're tiny. So they're about the end of my thumb. And that's the biggest one. So I just thought I'd show you what they look like. They're certainly very different to what, say, a normal lime would look like. There was quite a lot of activity, bee activity flying around. And that always makes me nervous. This is the Australian native bees. Always makes me nervous because I worry about small hive beetle. and they were clearly distressed about something. Well, it turns out when I went to pick it up, you can see the whole front of that's just rotted out. The second day after the rebuild of the hives, you can see there's still quite a bit of defensive activity going on, which I guess you'd expect. They do appear to be using both boxes, which makes me very happy. So I am hopeful that maybe both will survive. I've left the old material down the bottom in case they want to reuse it to reseal their new boxes. But yeah, at this stage it's certainly looking positive. Job that got done this month, which I'm really happy about, is I put a whole lot of horse poo in this front building site garden. What I'm aiming to do is get these bananas to fruit. So I know they're big feeders. Well, that's what I've done. All behind that vetiver grass is all, there's packets. So we bought 10 of those bags. Now that's a 20 kilo bag of food. It's obviously not 20 kilos with poo in it, but it's a big bag of poop. And we put 10, about 8 of which went up on that garden. We get a few jobs done between showers. So in that grow bag there was a native raspberry. So I'm going to take that out. It's too bloody prickly and it springs up all over the place. Jail breaks out of the bag. So I've got a thornless blackberry around the back that I'll replace in that big bag. But the weather's bizarre. Rossie's been cutting back her pretty salvias. The weather's bizarre. So I'm doing it between showers. As you can probably see, everything's damp. The empty bag, we just tipped the whole lot in Dave next door's skip. So I was glad to see the arse end of that. Saved me a lot of time and work. So to talk Australian, that's what we call a skip. And if you look down in there, that's what's left of our native raspberry. There's another job done again. I hedged off the top of that vetiver and the pigeon pea that was there. And I use that, you can see, I use it as mulch. So that's working a treat really, especially with the pigeon pea because that's a real good nitrogen setter. So there you go, save on buying mulch, covered up the horse poo that I put in, good as gold. I'm not going to say anything, hopefully next month. Well, most of the time I'm not even going to try and defend myself, look, fair dinkum, hopefully next month. There you go folks, so I'm going to put this up fairly soon, this video, that'll be the end of April then. Well, I didn't expect it to get as cool as it did, as quick as it did. But that's okay, no problems. You can see, look at that aquaponics bed. Doesn't it change over the seasons, eh? I've actually done a video about that before. It really is amazing. What do I predict? Well, I was wrong about the weather. I said it wouldn't cool off till at least halfway through the month. Good on you, Andy. And I thought the rain would back off. Well, so far it really hasn't. Although I think from next week, so early May, we should be back in sunny world. So there you go, folks. I hope you enjoyed this month's adventures. And feel free to hit the subscribe button. And I'll catch you all. I haven't got those grapefruit yet. I'll catch you all hopefully next month, hey? All right, uru.